what is a torsion pendulum? So if you take your simple pendulum, in that case, what happens? You have a to and fro motion. Okay, so you have a to and fro motion in case of your simple pendulum. Okay, but in case of torsion pendulum, I think you have already used this simple pendulum in your previous classes. So in case of I think, I could check one more. Okay, so if you take your okay. So if you take your simple pendulum, it is to and fro motion. To and fro motion in the sense you would have taken some string, like it can be a string or a your thread. Okay, so you had fixed the thread onto the stand, and then what you had some bulb. Sorry, you had a ball, okay, of some metal or something. So then you had your this may be your what you call a string, or in your case you would have used a thread. Okay, so something like that. Then what you had a to and fro motion. So like you start from here, and then this is your equilibrium position. You take the ball to a different position, something like you have to just displace this up to this position, and then what you have to do, you have to just leave it. So once you leave this, then what happens, this is going to try to go to the equilibrium position, but due to the this moment of inertia, it would further go, like from your law of motion. Okay, it will further go and it will stop somewhere here. Okay, so this would be your next position, and then again it will come back. So you used to have what we call as to and fro motion. Okay, to and fro means so from this position to other position, and then it is going to go on, keep on going. So you used to take something called as to and fro oscillation, and then you used to take the time period. Okay, so time period for that, this is like your simple harmonic motion. Okay, so in case of simple harmonic motion, you could you were trying to find a time period. So in case of time period, what is the time period? So if I take the oscillation, so I will start the clock here. If I start from here, so if it is going there and if it is coming back, okay, so then it is one oscillation. Okay, so that is how you used to count, and then you used to take it for 10 oscillations, and then used to take that average time, okay, for one oscillation. So then that would be your time period. So using this time period, you could, I think you would have derived or you would have got the expression, the value of G. Okay, I think you would have, this is what you would have tried. Try to get the value for G. G is your gravitational constant. So I think this is what you have done in your PU class. Okay. So this is your simple pendulum. Simple pendulum is in this case what happened is like you had to and fro motion, and then you could get the uh, time period for that particular motion. Okay, so that was your to and fro motion, and then uh, now if you take your torsion pendulum, so simple, instead of the simple pendulum, we are taking a torsion pendulum. So as we had already seen, torsion pendulum is you take the same thing, like you take some thread, or in our case we take stainless steel wire. Okay, so we take a stainless steel wire, and then we put some weight. So your weight can be it will have some geometry. So let us assume it is a circular plate. Okay, so circular plate of some 1 kg or something like that. Okay, so we will take this, and then we used to put that. Okay, so now what happens? This is your weight, and then you have a stainless steel. So instead of giving a to and fro motion, so what you do is you twist it. Okay, so like this is your position, equilibrium position. Okay, so let us assume this is your equilibrium position. Then what happens? Instead of giving to and fro, you twist this to somewhere here. Okay, so I'm going to just give an angle theta. So let us call this this is your B dash. Okay, so B and B dash. initially you are at B, you will turn it. Okay, so it's like you're turning. Okay, so when you turn, you're going to create some angle theta. So this is what we call as torsion. Torsion means it is having the some tangential displacement. Okay, so in the previous case, in case of your simple pendulum, it is your linear displacement. So this is actually your almost like a linear displacement. Okay, and then you it used to just go to and fro from here to there. Okay, so but in the case of your torsion pendulum, you are giving some angle, you are giving a twisting. Then what happens? In principle, once you twist this B to B dash, then what happens? This stainless steel is having a torsional oscillation, okay, or what we call torsional twist. Okay, so it will have a twist, and it will develop a restoring torque. Okay, so you are actually creating a torque. Okay, so you create torque by twisting. So once you have twisting, then what happens? The inside the body, inside your wire, you have something called as restoring torque. Restoring torque is like it wants come back to its original position. So that means what happens? It will from B, it will try to come back to B dash. But as again this from your law of inertia, what happens? It would not stop at B. It will come to B, but it will go further. Okay, it will go further maybe to I will call this as B dash. Okay, so let us call this is B double dash. Okay, B double dash, and then again what happens? So this would be almost close to theta. Okay, so not exactly theta, maybe less, slightly less than theta, but it will be close to. We will take a approximation as theta. Okay, so in that case, what happens again? You are developing a negative torque. So again, it will have what we call as restoring torque, and it will again try to go like this. Okay, so instead of to and fro, here it will be like a circular motion. Okay, so from B, so you start from B, so B dash to B double dash, again B dash. So it will keep on having a circular motion. Okay, so from here to here. Okay, so I will show how it happens. So in this case, what happens? You are actually creating what we call as your rigidity uh, or your shear stress. Okay, your shear stress and strain would come into account. Okay, so your theta would be your shearing strain. So this we have already seen in our class. So when I explained, I would explain this. So you have a torque, and then there is some kind of moment of inertia. So we had taken this example in your theory. Okay, so then we had find the time period. So try to find the time period, and then finally what happened? We took the example of your torsion pendulum. So in this case, what happened? So as I was explaining here, so instead of B, I'm using here A dash, and then A double dash. Okay. So then you would have a circular motion or circular oscillations, and using this kind of circular oscillation, you would actually try to find the uh, some equation for your rigidity model. Okay, N. Okay. So we are going to use that same concept, and we are going to perform our experiment in this case. Okay. So this is the same thing. I think I'm not going to go in detail. So you have already learned this. So now, as I told, there is going to be some time period. Okay, so we need to take time period or period for each oscillation. Okay, so each oscillation. Uh, so in our case, to be more specific, it is circular oscillation. Okay. So what is the time period? So using this time period, we can find the rigidity modulus of your stainless steel, because you're creating shearing strain, and hence you can find the rigidity modulus. Okay. So this is like the applied torque is your shear stress, and then the your restoring torque would be the your shearing strain. So as there is a twist, so we had already seen in case of your cylinder that you are going to have a creating a shearing stress and strain. Okay. So now what we will do is we will see how to do that. Okay. So how to go with this experiment. Okay. So I'm going to come back here, and then I will show it here. So the aim of this experiment is to find the rigidity modulus of the given wire. Okay, so we are going to see, we have a wire, like as I told, we use this wire to suspend the weight. Okay, in our case, the weight is almost like your the weight would be your place. Okay, so we are going to have circular plate, and also we're going to have the rectangular or square plate. Okay, so then what happens? This plate would act as your weight. So that is to create your moment of inertia. And then, so if you apply the torque for your torsional oscillation, so then there will be an equal and opposite restoring torque which is developed within the material, that is your stainless steel wire. So this would be the main principle for finding the rigidity modulus. Okay. So in this case, as you can see, this rigidity modulus would depend on the time period t, and also it depends on the moment of inertia. Okay, so moment of inertia that you are applying for your wire. Okay, so using that concept, if I know all these things, so then you can find the what we call the rigidity modulus of your wire. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just take it. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to explain it. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is your this is the formula that the rigidity modulus n. Okay, so n is equal to or eta or whatever you found. So n is your rigidity modulus. So then you have 8 pi l. L is the length of the wire. Okay, so length means it is between two. We call it as the check nets. Okay, check nuts. Okay, so I will show what is this check nuts. So the length of wire. So you have to take the length of the wire, and moment of inertia, and r is the radius of the wire. So again you are going to use your screw gauge to find the radius of the wire, and this you are going to use your normal scale. Okay, so you can use a scale and you can find the length of the your wire. Okay, and then you have a moment of inertia and the t square. So for that we will do the actual experiment. Okay, so then so in your case you have to find I and t, that would be your experiment. Then what we have, I think, yeah, so, yeah, fine. So for moment of inertia, we need the mass of the wire, mass of your objects. So for that, what you are going to do is you are going to find a mass of your circular and rectangular disc. So I will show one by one. Uh, so let us take, for example, only the your length. Okay, so we will first I will show how to take the length of your wire. Okay, so because L is needed, then I will show how to do the R, and then I will show the mass and everything. Okay, so for this, what you do is, so you see here, this is your wire. Okay, so this is the wire. You can see there is a two nuts. So this one end and other end. Okay, so this is one end, and this is the other end. So these two ends are actually so there is a wire in between. So this is a stainless steel wire, and you can see this is almost fixed. Okay, so it will not come out. So you can apply any amount of load on that. Okay, so now there is a you have to find the length. Length means okay. So you have to find the distance between this end to this end. So how do you find the distance between these two ends is by using a scale. You just use a scale and you can find. So this is almost like close to 25 centimeter or something like that. Okay. So the length is almost 25 centimeter. You can use the scale and you can find it. The distance between these two points. Okay. So that would give the length of your wire. Okay. So between this end to this end. Okay. So that is the length, and then if I want to find the diameter, then what I will, or radius, then what I do, I use I'm going to use the screw gauge at a different place. So I'll put a screw gauge here. So then I'll put screw gauge here, and then maybe I'll put screw gauge here. So this is just to minimize the error. So you take three trials, so that if you're making mistake in the first trial, maybe your doing better in the second trial. Okay, so that is why you're going to take 3 different trials, and then you're going to find the radius. Okay, so this is similar to what you did in your Fermi energy. So for Fermi energy also, you try to find the radius. So I'm not going to go in detail because it's already, it would be a repetition. Okay, so now what you do is you can see here uh, there are 2 plates. Okay, so there is a circular plate. So this is a circular plate. So this has almost weight of, it may not look heavy, but it's almost close to 700 to 800 pounds. Okay, so there is a balance in the lab. What you're supposed to do, you just put this in the balance and you take the weight. Okay, so we have analog balance. So analog balance, I guess most of you have seen that. So I hope you have seen. So let me check if I can. Okay, so analog weigh scale. So it's all digital. Uh, so it is mostly or weighing balance. Okay, analog weigh balance. So if you take, I don't know, just okay. So you would have not like this, but something older one, like something like this. Okay, so you have 2 pans, and then you have to put the weight in between. Okay, so something like this, but this is something like this. Okay, you put your pan on this one end, then this needle will go to the other end, and then what you do, you are going to put some weight or other counterweight, and you will find so something like that. Okay, so I think this is the best one. Okay, so you are going to put the weight on one end, and then you are going to put the counter weight, and then you'll find what is the exact uh, weight of this, each of this plates. Okay, so you have to find the weight of this plate, the first plate, and also you have to find the weight of the second plate. Okay, so this is your rectangular plate, this is the circular plate. So you're going to do separately, not going to mix them, you're going to do separately. So then what you do is, so you're going to find the mass of your circular plate and also mass of your rectangular plate. Then what you are supposed to do, so these are necessary, you need these parameters for finding the what we call as your moment of inertia. Okay, so if you want to find the moment of inertia, then you need all these parameters. So that is the reason why you are going to do this. Okay, so now as you can see here, so you find the mass of circular and rectangular one. Then I need the physical dimension. Physical dimension means what is the radius of this. So as you can see, there's a big hole in between. So you may not be able to find the exact radius. So for that, what you do, you take a thread, you find the circumference of this circle, and then you try to get the your radius. Okay, so that is why you're finding the circumference. So you take a wire and so or a thread, you wrap it through the entire surface. Okay, so you can start from this end. You start from this end, you take a thread, you put around this, and then if you find the length of the your thread, that would be the circumference. Okay, so using that circumference, you can find the radius. Okay, so take the circumference, and then from there you can calculate the radius of the wire. Okay, and then we will go to the rectangular one. So we found the physical like mass and also the radius of your circular. In the same way, you find the mass of rectangular, and also you have to find the physical dimensions. Physical dimension means, so you need the length. You don't worry about the thickness. So thickness is almost very small, so we will almost consider that as almost negligible. So now what you do, you take the length. Length is your longer distance. So you take a scale and you measure the distance between both ends. So this will give the length, and then the distance between the top to the bottom is going to be the breadth. Okay, so breadth and length you have to find. Okay, so this is again your scale. So it is very simple. You take a scale and you find the length and the breadth of this. Okay, don't worry about the thickness. So we are not worried much on the thickness. Okay, so this is what you are going to do. So this is again like even if I call uh, school high school person, they will do it. Okay, and then as you see here, you have to find the radius. So I have explained that. So now the main experiment would come into picture. Okay, so this is where you're actually going to have your entire. Okay, so normally what you so in this case what you're supposed to do, you have to find the moment of inertia you can get, because you found the mass and radius and length and breadth, so you can use the formula and you can find it. Okay, so we are not going to go in detail, but this main the main use of this, or the main objective is to find the is mainly to find the moment of inertia. Okay, so or the time period. Okay, so I'll just copy this so that it will be easy for me to explain. Okay, so let me paste it here. So I have taken only for circular one, then I will do for rectangular one. Okay, so I will just do only for circular first time, and then I will explain with the rectangular, because if I do all together, then you may get confused. Okay, so now what we do, we will take the circular disc and then we will try to suspend it. Okay, so you can see here the first diagram. It shows like a circular in your you take the your circular disc. Okay, and you have to suspend perpendicular to the plane. Okay, so what's the meaning of that is, so you can see this. So you take the circular disc and then what you do, this is your plane. You have to suspend perpendicular to the plane. Okay, so now what you're supposed to do, you have to fix your wire perpendicular to this plane. Okay, so this is plane and then you have to fix it perpendicular. So for that what you do, there is a check nut, there is a nut here. Okay, so there is a big hole and then there is a big nut, so you have to fix it here. Okay, and there is one more small other, in the other end there is a small uh, screw, and then there is small screw and also small nut. Okay, so you for this you are going to use here, but for now you are going to use a bigger screw and bigger nut. Okay, so now you just fix it. So as you can see, it is just I'm just going to make it fix it. Okay, so now you can see this is fixed. So your wire is right now perpendicular to the your plane of the your disc. So now what is the thing? You have to just suspend it. Okay, so I hope it is you can hear. Okay, so I'm going to fix it on the on this. Okay, so I use the other end. I think you can see here. So what you do, you just fix it like that. So you should be very careful, because sometimes this may fall off. Okay, so it may fall off, so you should be very careful with respect to when you are handling this. Okay, so don't keep your hand in between in the bottom, because if this slips, okay, so then you may damage your hand. Okay, so now what you do is, so this is already fixed. Uh, so this would become, if I do like this, so now this is a to and fro motion. So if it is a to and fro motion, then what happens? It is a simple pendulum. Okay. So I don't want a simple pendulum. I want a torsional pendulum. So if you see this plane, plane has to be remaining constant. Okay. So if you take a to and fro motion, you could see that this plane was moving. But in our motion, like what we did is, we need to fix this. Okay. So we have to give a circular motion. Okay, so let me check. We can fix it. So I'll bring it close. Okay, I think yeah, I think now it's fine. So now you can see here. What I will do is I will make a marking here. Okay, so for just for your, so I guess you can see that. There will be too much light. Okay, still there is a lot of light. So just okay. So I don't know whether you can see. So maybe you can see there is okay. I think I will show like this. Okay. So you can see right now, I think it is too much, okay, too much of that. Okay, so you can see there is a marking here. Okay, so you can see marking on this. So then what you do is you have to okay, yeah, so you have a marking here. So now what you do is you have to give circular oscillation. Circular oscillation, what you do, you turn this, twist it. You are going to twist it and then you leave it. So now you can see like the main position was somewhere here. So now you can see it is going from, if you take your A dash or B dash, it is going from B dash to B double dash. Okay. So it keep on rotating like this. So now your work is you have to find how many number of oscillations are made. Okay. So I will try to explain that slowly. So now you can see here like it is keep on rotating. So there is a clock here. So we will take the clock and then what we do is we are going to start the clock at some point. Okay. So I will show you how to do that, but I will just explain you in simple words. Okay. So first let me explain this. Okay. So now you can see here that uh, so this is the starting point, but once you twist it, it will go to B dash, and then it won't stop at B, but it will go further. Okay, so B double dash. So when it comes to, for example, when it is coming to your B double dash, okay, so let me say, okay, okay. So what you normally do is when it comes here, so when your point is at the B double dash, you start the clock. Okay, start the clock, and then what happens, it will further keep on moving. So when it comes goes here, this is half oscillation. Okay, so then when it comes back, so when it is back, it is one oscillation. Okay, so one oscillation means when it come back to this position. Okay, so you start here, you allow it to go, and then it has to come back. When it come back, then that is your one oscillation. Okay, so how many oscillations you have to do, it depends. Okay, in exam they may ask you to take so here they are giving 10 oscillations. Okay, so in your case they are asking for 10 oscillation. So you can see this is your 10 oscillation, but in exam they may ask for like 4 or 6 or 8 oscillation. Okay, so let us do for 4 oscillations. So we will not do for 10 oscillation. So I am going to do for 4 oscillation. Okay, and then we will find try to find how many sorry, how much time it is going to take in seconds. Okay, so these things you can calculate. So I will give the value for MC and R. You can calculate the moment of inertia. So this is your again your basic physics, so you don't spend too much time here. Our main experiment is to find the time period. Okay, so I will show how to do that, and as I told, we will do for 4 oscillation, not for 10 oscillation. Okay, so in exam they can ask anything, like they can ask for 5 oscillation, they can ask for 10 oscillation, or they can ask for 4 oscillation. Okay, so now as you can see, like I started in the previous time, it is still going on. Okay, so because this is a circular oscillation and it keeps on rotating till it comes to rest. Okay, it will take some time. So now what I will do, I will make it to come to rest. I will force it, like it is again your law of inertia. So you can bring any object to rest by applying the external force. Okay, so now what I am doing, I am stopping it. Okay, so now you can see this is the stopping point. So initially what I do, as I explained, so this is your starting point. So I'm going to twist it. Okay, so I'm going to twist it like that, and then I'm going to leave it. Okay, so you can see it is going from B dash to B to B dash. So I will take the clock and I will start the clock when it comes to B dash. Okay, so now B dash, so I'll start at B. So I started at B double dash, so off, then one oscillation. Okay, so then 1.5 and two oscillations. Okay, so again 2.5, three oscillations, and then 3.5. So when it comes to the fourth oscillation, when it's stopping here, I am stopping the clock. Okay, so that means it is giving almost for, this is the time period for, so it is almost like 30 seconds. Okay, so it is 30 seconds or 31 seconds for 4 oscillation. Okay, so I will write it down, those things. So I'll write it here. So for the first reading, for your perpendicular to the plane, I got for 4 oscillation, what is the time it is taken? It is taking 31 seconds. Okay, so I'll write here 31 seconds. So now what you do, again you repeat the same. Okay, so uh, so now again you make it to come to rest. Okay, so you reset it. So if I want to reset, what I will do, I will just click it. So your clock is 0. Now what I will do, I will not show from the top. I will just keep it like this. Okay, so you may see like this is your position, the reference position. It may not be clear, but you can see that is the reference position. Okay, I am going to twist it. So you don't have to start in the beginning. Okay, so you twist it and leave it to go. So you can see it is right now it is oscillating. Okay, so now what I will do, I will start at this position. Okay, so I will, when it comes here, so it is coming back, I'm starting the clock. So I started the clock there. So now what happened, it is running. So this is one oscillation, so 1.5, so then two oscillation, 2.5, three oscillation, okay, and 3.5. Okay, then when it comes here, I'm going to stop 4 oscillation. Okay, so you can see when it is coming back exactly here, I stopped it. So that is for 4 oscillation. So as you can see, this is wobbling. Wobbling in a sense, it is jumping like this. So this is not a good oscillation. Okay, but still, what I will do, I'll just give you this answer. So you can see in the second round, you got something around 25 seconds. Okay, so the same oscillation, but here it was not good because if you have like that, if you have something, so I will show you this how it was there. So you can see this is also jumping like that. Okay, so your circular plate is jumping, so it is not good oscillation. Okay, so if you want to have a good oscillation, then it should be very smooth. Okay, so I will just try to do the smoother way. So I'm holding the bottom one and then I'm going to twist it and I'm going to slowly leave it. So now you can see it is just going like circular oscillation. Okay, so this is really good, like really good in a sense. This is how you should have the oscillation. Okay, you don't take when it is having some wobbling. Okay, wobbling in a sense when there is some jumping of your circular plate. Okay, so you can see right now it is going very smooth oscillation. So I will write that values here. Okay, so even though it is not a good one, good, I will write. So this is the second one, I got like 26. Okay, so this is not good, but still I'm writing. Okay, so this is the reason why you are doing two trials. So first trial, maybe you are doing this kind of error. In the second trial, what happens, you are going to minimize the error. Okay, so you know what you should not do and all, and then you are going to minimize the error. So finally what happens, you get better result. Okay, so if you take only one reading, if it is good, then it's fine. If it is having some error, then it will be you may not get the good results. Okay, in the end. So that is why you take two trials, first trial and second trial. So next, what we will do, we will go for the other one, which is your along the diameter. Okay, so for this, what you do is you take out your uh, so you can stop this. You take out this from your, so I'm going to take it out. Then what you do, you remove this. So don't try to remove from the stand, because once you try to remove, you are going to twist your wire, and there is possibility that you are going to break the wire. Okay, so don't remove when it is in the stand. Remove your complete setup and take it to the hand, and you just take it out. Okay, so I have taken out the chuck nuts. So now what I will do, I have to make it along the length, sorry, along the diameter. So for along the diameter, what I do, initially I had fixed like this. Now I am going to fix it like this. Okay. So for that you can see there is a nut here. Okay. So there is a hole here. So you just put this nut inside this hole and you fix it. Okay. So you can see I'm trying to fix it. So you just make it as much tight as it is. So right now it is tight enough. So now what happened? So you can see this is the diameter, right? So you're taking the oscillations along the diameter. Previously it was like that. So now it is along the diameter. So again I'm going to suspend it on your table. Okay. Okay. So I'm putting it in onto the your onto the your stand. So now what I do, I'll just try to keep it. I guess you can see. Reset your clock. Okay. So after each experiment, you have to reset the clock. Then now you have to give circular oscillation in this way. Okay. So I'll show you. So I'm going to make marking. So this is your marking. So this is your marking. So now what you do, so this is your equilibrium position. Again, this is like your B. So now what you do, you take it to B dash. So I just twist it. Then if I leave it, then what happens? It is going to come to B double dash. So it will keep on rotating from B dash to B double dash. So you can start your experiment. Okay, so let me do what I will do is when it comes to B dash, I start the experiment. So when it go there, it is off. It has to come back 1, 1.5, 2, okay. So 2.5, 3, and then 3.5. So when it comes back 4, I stop it. Okay. So this is your oscillation for your along the diameter. So you write down the value. So what is the value there? It is around 17 seconds. Okay. So I will write that as 17 seconds. Okay. So the next one is around 17 seconds. Okay. So now you repeat the same thing. Okay. So you repeat the same thing by just here what I do, I stop it again. So bring it to your equilibrium position. So this is your equilibrium position. Okay. And then let me check. Very clear. Okay. So I reset the clock. Now what I do, this is your equilibrium position. Again, I'll take it to B dash and slowly leave it. Okay. So let it go one round. Then what I'll do, I'll start here. I'm starting with this position. Oh, sorry. I think I'll repeat it. I put my hand in between. Okay. So B to B double dash, sorry, B dash, then B double dash. So now let us start when it comes to B double dash. I started there of 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. So 3.5. When it comes here, 4. I stop it. Okay. So now you can see both are almost consistent. So now I get almost 16 seconds. Okay. So previously I got 17 seconds. So now I am getting around 16 seconds. Okay. So I will write here. So the second one is 16 seconds. Okay. So this is how you take the readings. Okay. So you take the readings for circular. So now what we'll do, we will do the same thing for the other one. Okay. So let me copy this. Let me see if I can copy. Okay, good. So then I will just paste it here and then I will start it again. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes. So you need the other part also. So I'll just take the other part. So we need from here to here. Okay, so here we will have three different orientation. So in the previous one we had only 2 orientation. Okay, but here we will have 3 different orientation. Okay. Okay, I think it's good. So it's fine. Okay, so now uh, we have the same thing for your rectangular plate. Okay, so now what you do, you remove your circular plate. So you take out your circular plate, and then you so when you want to take out, don't take out like this, because if I do like this, then what happens, I'm going to twist the wire, and there is possibility that I'm going to break the wire. Okay, so I am going to take this entire thing out of this stand. Okay, and then what I do, I will slowly remove it like this. Okay, so don't twist your wires, because for our experiment we are taking the length to be almost constant, and if we break the wire, then you have to repeat the experiment from the beginning. Okay, so now I'm taking the circular plate, sorry, your rectangular plate, and then what I do, I'm going to fix it perpendicular to the plane. So perpendicular to the plane means you have to fix it like this. Okay, so I'm going to, for that, I'm going to use your one of your big nuts, and I'm going to fix it like that. Okay, so okay, so I think it is like almost tight. So this is fine. So now you can see this is perpendicular to the plane. Okay. So I'm going to fix it on your stand, as we already did it. And then you make a marking. Okay. So I will see what is the equilibrium position. So right now this is the equilibrium position. So I'm going to make marking on the top. Okay. So from top. Okay. So you can see I have made the marking. I will reset the clock. Then what I do, I give the circular oscillation. I twist it and I leave it. Okay. So let it go 1 or 2 rounds. It's not a problem. Then once you are ready, what you do is, so when this is coming to this end, I'm going to start the clock. So I started it at this point. So that is half oscillation. You have to wait it to come back to this position. It is one oscillation. Okay. So then 1.5, and this, when it come back, it is 2. Okay, so it has to stop. Okay, so like 2.5, 3. Okay, and then 3.5. So be ready when it comes back to 4. When it stops, it stopped, stop the clock. Okay, so this is your time for your circular, your perpendicular to the plane. So it is around 31 seconds. Okay, so I'll write that as 31 seconds. So this, for this one, it is your you have 31 seconds, and in the same way you repeat it. So let us, as it is running, let us just start it again. Okay, reset your clock. Okay, and then I will start the same thing. Okay, so I'm starting here. So half, and then 1, 1.5, 2. Okay, and then 2.5, 3, and then again 3.5, and when it come back, you have to stop 4. Okay, so again you get almost 31 or 31 seconds. Okay, so almost 31, 32 seconds you get. So you write it here. Okay, so 32 seconds I will write as 32. So then uh, the same thing, what you are supposed to do is you have to repeat it for along the your length. Okay, so we will try to do that. I will show you this one along the length. So again, remove it back. So this is very lengthy experiment compared to your electrical experiment. Okay, electrical experiment you can almost do 2 in 1 day, but this you need almost like 2 hours to complete the entire experiment, because you have to take the weight, you have to take the length, you have to take the circular circumference. okay, all those things. So it will take some time. Okay, so I'm removing this and I'm going to put it on the length. Okay, so length means it is a longer edge. So then you take your thinner wire or thinner screw and you put it inside it. Okay, so there's a hole, so you have to just screw it. Okay, so it is like your screw and nut. Okay, so I'm going to fix it like this, and then I'm going to keep it to the stand. So I'm going to put in the stand. So again, I will make the marking. So this is my marking. Okay. So allow it to stop at equilibrium position. So right now it is in equilibrium position, and then reset your clock, and then you give the twist. Okay. So for twist, what I will do, I will again do the same thing. I will hold the bottom hand, and then I'll twist it something like this, and I'm going to leave it. Okay. So let it go 1 or 2 rounds. Then when it coming here, this is my starting point. I start here. Okay. So then half 1. Okay. And then 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. Okay. So I stopped it. So you can see around this. This is around 26 seconds. Okay. So I am going to write that as 26 seconds. So this is the 26 seconds. So next I will just write as 25 or 20. Okay, so 25 seconds. You don't write, don't do, you should not do that. You should repeat it again. Okay, so you have to repeat again. So reset and then again you start your clock. Okay, and then you keep counting the oscillator. Okay, so this is what you have to do for 4. Okay, so right now it is already 1. Then let us see. Okay, 2, 3. So then when it come back, you have to stop it, and then it will be like 4. Okay, 4 as well. So it's almost again close to 26 seconds. Okay, so this will be almost again. Let me change it because it is 26. So let us write it as 26 seconds. Okay, so this is your perpendicular to the length. So perpendicular length means, so you can see length is, this is your longer end edge is the length. So you have fixed it perpendicular to the length. So now again you remove it back, take it out. Okay, and then fix it perpendicular to the breadth. Okay, so that is the last one. So I'm removing this, and then so this is your breadth, the smaller edge. So there is a hole here. You have to just screw it in. Okay, so you have to just screw it like that, and then you suspend again in on your stand. Okay, okay. So you can see this is your equilibrium position. So right now let me consider this is the equilibrium position. So now again what I will do, you can see this nut here. This was actually for perpendicular to the length. So right now this is perpendicular to the breadth because the breadth is smaller. Okay. So now what you do is you just make a marking here on this. So this would act as your reference point. Okay. So this is your reference point. Now you twist it again. Okay, and then before that reset your clock, twist it, leave it. Okay, so let it run one round, and then what happens once it coming here, I'm starting. So half. So when you see that chalk piece, that is 1. Okay, 2. Okay, then 3, 4. So I missed it. Okay, so I think I have to repeat it again. So let us repeat it. I'm starting here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when you see the chalk piece, that is 4. Okay. 4. I stop it. So this is almost like 17 seconds. Okay. So that is for your this one. Okay. So right now for your perpendicular to the breadth, it is about 17 seconds. So let me write this is 16 or 17 seconds or 18 seconds. Okay. So you will not get very big change as you can already see. So each one will be almost close. Okay. You may get the same values or you may get small one or one more or one less. Okay. So this is these are your time period. So later what you do is you have to just calculate do the calculation. Okay. So you take you know the length, you know the breadth, you know the mass. So you can find the moment of inertia. So this is actually I by t square. Okay, so it's not like 1 by t square. So you should be careful that this is not I. Okay, so this is sorry, this is not 1, but it is I. Okay, I by t square. Okay, so this is your I by t square. In the same way, in the previous one also, this is I by t square. Okay, so you have to be careful with this, with respect to this. Okay, so sometimes what they will do, they will take it as 1 by t square. Okay, because it looks like 1, but it is actually I by t square. Okay, so I will send you all these values. So I think uh, so right now if you come back, so we're done with this. So rest of things is just calculation. Okay, so you have to find I by t square for each of them, and then you take the mean. Okay, so you have 5 different I by t squares. You add all the 5 and then divided by 5, you get I by t square mean. Then what you do, you just substitute that in your equation. Okay, L is the length, R is the radius, so you have to use the screw gauge. I will give you the values. Okay, I will give the length and radius. So you have to calculate I by t square and then you can do the calculation. Okay. So this is about your